I never thought a simple family barbecue would unravel everything I'd held dear. My name is Emily Carter, and at 34, I'd built my life around being the steady one in our chaotic clan. As the senior compliance officer at Southwest Health Innovations in Phoenix, Arizona, I dealt with regulations and ethics all day, ironic, considering what lurked beneath our family's sun-baked facade. We lived on the outskirts of the city, in a sprawling ranch-style home Dad had bought after his medical practice took off. The kind with red-tiled roofs and views of the Sonoran Desert that stretched forever. A place where coyotes howled at night and saguaro cactuses stood like silent guardians. That Saturday afternoon, the air was thick with the smell of mesquite-smoked ribs and Mom's famous green chili cornbread. Dad manned the grill in his cowboy hat, flipping steaks with the precision of a surgeon, which he was, one of Phoenix's top orthopedic specialists. Mom bustled around the patio, topping off iced teas and chatting about the latest neighborhood gossip, her laughter a bit too forced, like she was trying to outrun some shadow. My older brother, Ryan, lounged by the pool, nursing a beer and scrolling through his phone, while my younger brother, Tyler, fidgeted in his seat next to me. At 28, Tyler still had that wide-eyed charm that got him out of scrapes. But today his hands trembled as he picked at his plate. "Ink, can we talk? Alone?" Tyler muttered, his voice barely above the sizzle of the grill. I nodded, following him inside to the cool shade of the kitchen, where the AC hummed like a distant thunderstorm. He poured himself a shot of Dad's prized bourbon, the good stuff from Kentucky, aged 18 years, and downed it before facing me. "You gotta promise not to tell Mom." "Swear it."
Eminência.
My gut twisted. I'd heard that plea a million times. When he wrecked Ryan's truck in high school. When he blew his college fund on bad bets. When I loaned him money for that surefire startup that fizzled. I was the middle kid. The fixer. The one who patched up the messes, so our picture-perfect Carter family stayed intact. "Tyler, what's going on? You're scaring me." He glanced toward the patio, where Dad's booming laugh echoed. "It's Dad. His practice. It's in deep trouble. Malpractice claims piling up. Insurance payouts drying out like the desert in July. He asked me to help with some financial stuff to keep the ranch afloat. Just paperwork. Signatures. That kind of thing. It's all legit. I swear. But Mom can't know. She'd freak about the stress. Financial stuff? Like what?" My mind raced, pulling from my compliance training. Loans? Refinancing? But his eyes darted away, and that knot in my stomach tightened. He was hiding more. I could feel it, like the way sand shifts underfoot before a flash flood. "Doesn't matter. Just tell her my new gig in medical distribution is killing it if she asks. International deals. Big commissions. Please."
Eminência.
"For the family." He gripped my arm, his fingers digging in, desperate. I saw the kid brother I'd protected from bullies, the one who'd cry in my room during Dad's late-night rants about hospital bureaucracy.
How could I say no?
"Okay," I whispered. "I won't tell her." But as we stepped back outside, joining the laughter that felt hollow now, doubt gnawed at me. What if this was bigger than our usual family hiccups? I'd spent years burying secrets, Ryan's gambling losses that I covered with my savings, Mom's vitamins that were really pills to steady her nerves, Dad's business trips that never added up. I told myself it was love, loyalty, the Carter way. Out here in the West, families stuck together like burrs on a saddle. But that promise sat heavy in my chest, a storm cloud on a clear Arizona sky. The next few days blurred into routine, early mornings at the office reviewing audit trails, afternoons dodging Mom's calls about helping with some forms. But Tyler's words haunted me. Save the ranch? We'd refinanced it twice already, thanks to my credit. I started noticing things. Dad's new pickup truck in the driveway. Mom's sudden splurge on turquoise jewelry from the local market. Just a little pick-me-up, she'd say, waving it off. But her hands shook more than usual, and Dad's jokes at dinner carried an edge, like a knife hidden in a boot. One evening, alone in my condo overlooking the Phoenix lights, I poured myself a glass of local prickly pear wine and stared at my laptop. My job demanded I spot red flags, falsified records, unusual transactions. Was I blind to them at home? The thought burned. If I ignored this, was I any better than the executives I flagged for fraud? But family came first, right? That's what Dad drilled into us, quoting old Western tales of outlaws and kin. Yet doubt whispered louder, eroding my resolve like wind on sandstone. I couldn't shake the fear that Tyler's help was pulling us all into quicksand. By midweek, Mom called again. Emily, darling, the computer's glitching. Can you print those health insurance papers? Dad swamped at the clinic. I drove out to the ranch under a blazing sun, the highway lined with ocotillo blooming red like warning signs. Mom greeted me with a hug that smelled of lavender and anxiety, then shuffled back to her knitting. In Dad's study, surrounded by his medical awards and photos of us on horseback rides, I woke the computer. An email popped up. Subject: Alternative Funding Confirmation, October installment. I froze.
Sender, Viktor Petrov.
Attachment: RanchFin_alt_doxed zip. The message: processed as agreed. Insure T.
Carter signatures align.
Next due November 15th.
T.
Carter, Tyler. My heart pounded like thunder over the mountains. I should have closed it, but Tyler's plea echoed, "Don't tell Mom." Instead, I downloaded it, guessing Mom's password, our ranch's zip code. Files spilled open. Loan apps for properties in Nevada and New Mexico I'd never heard of. Business filings for Western Medical Logistics with Tyler as owner. Bank statements from offshore accounts in Panama. Millions cycling through. And woven in, Dad's clinic billing codes. His signature on verified equipment orders that screamed overinflated. This wasn't saving the ranch. It was fraud, billing insurers for phantom supplies, laundering through fake companies. My breath came short. Mom hummed in the kitchen, rattling her pill bottle. I copied everything to my flash drive, hands steady from years of crisis mode. But inside, turmoil raged. How could Dad drag Tyler into this? Was Mom complicit? Or just willfully blind? I'd enabled it all. Paying debts. Forging excuses. Was this my fault too? The weight crushed me. Loyalty versus right. Family versus law. As I printed her forms and left, flash drive burning in my pocket, I knew the storm had broken. No more secrets. But exposing them meant betraying everything I loved. Driving back to Phoenix, the desert blurred through tears I refused to let fall. The flash drive felt like a grenade in my purse, primed to explode our lives. I'd always been the anchor, holding the Carters steady against life's dust devils.
But now?
This fraud could mean prison wire fraud, money laundering, healthcare violations. I knew the statutes from work, penalties stacked like Jenga blocks, ready to topple. Tyler's name on those docs made him the fall guy, but Dad's signatures tied him as the architect. And me, if I stayed silent, I became an accessory after the fact. That night, I confronted Tyler at his apartment in Scottsdale, a sleek place with views of Camelback Mountain that screamed, "Too good to be true." He opened the door in gym shorts, face paling.
Ain't?
What's up? I shoved past, slamming printouts on his granite counter.
Viktor Petrov.
Offshore accounts. Fake companies using Dad's clinic to bill millions. Explain. He sank onto the couch, head in hands. I didn't know at first. Dad said the practice was sinking, lawsuits from botched surgeries, Medicare cuts hitting hard out here where folks rely on it. He hooked me up with these investors for quick loans. Sign here. File that. It snowballed. By the time I saw the laundering, they threatened exposure. Or worse. His voice cracked, eyes pleading like when we'd lose a calf on the ranch and he'd beg me to fix it. Worse? Tyler. This is organized crime territory. Russian ties. From the names. You could have gone to the authorities early, but even as I said it, guilt surged. I'd ignored signs too, Dad's conferences in Vegas, Mom's shopping binges. We all played roles in the charade. He sobbed. Mom would shatter. You know her, appearances are everything. Church on Sundays. PDA, queen. The ideal Western wife. Dad swore it'd fix itself. I paced, mind whirling. Part of me wanted to hug him, promise I'd handle it like always.
But another voice,
louder now, screamed, enough. Enabling had cost me relationships, savings,
peace.
My ex left because I prioritized family crises over us. Was this the line? Turn yourself in. Tyler. Cooperate. It's the only way out. He shook his head, terror raw. They'll kill me.
And Dad.
He's got health issues.
Eminencia.
Heart stuff from stress. The confession hit like a scorpion sting.
Dad.
The invincible doc who'd patched up ranch hands for free. Now fragile? Conflict tore at me. Protect them, or protect the innocent patients whose insurance funded this. I left with promises unspoken, but resolve hardening like clay in the sun. Days bled into sleepless nights. At work, I buried myself in audits, but hypocrisy gnawed. How could I preach ethics while harboring felons? Mom called daily, voice quivering. Emily, Tyler seems off. Is everything all right?
Elite. Fine. Mom.
Busy with work. But her tone hinted she suspected women's intuition. Or denial cracking. Finally, I contacted a lawyer friend in Albuquerque, swearing secrecy. This is textbook healthcare fraud, she said. FBI's healthcare fraud unit would jump on it. Whistleblower protections under the False Claims Act could shield you, even reward you.
Reward?
The idea sickened me. This wasn't about money, it was survival. But reporting meant arrests, trials, our name dragged through the cacti. Inner voices battled. Loyalty demands silence. No, justice demands truth. I'd sacrificed enough. Time to choose me. I met an FBI agent in a nondescript coffee shop off I-10, handing over the drive. My family, I whispered, voice breaking. He nodded sympathetically. You're doing the right thing. We'll investigate discreetly at first. Walking out. Relief mixed with dread. Like rain after drought, life-giving, but flooding everything. What had I unleashed? Tyler's face haunted me. His trust shattered. Mom's world crumbling. Dad's legacy in ruins. Guilt flooded. Was I the villain? Betraying blood for principle? Or the hero? Ending the cycle? The desert night offered no answers. Just stars indifferent to human folly. The investigation moved slow at first. A cactus growing thorn by thorn. I cooperated in secret meetings, explaining docs, timelines. Your dad's clinic billed Medicare for equipment never delivered, the agent said. Laundered through Tyler's shell companies. Funneled back as investments.
Millions de fraudes.
Hearing it aloud pierced deeper. Patients in rural Arizona. Veterans. The elderly. All victims. My family. Pillars of the community. Thieves in Stetson hats. Mom noticed my distance. At our next barbecue, she pulled me aside. You're quiet,
Darlin'.
something eating at you. Her eyes, lined from years under the sun.
Serked mine.
I wanted to confess, beg forgiveness, but held back. Just work stress. She hugged me, whispering, we Carters stick together, through dust storms and all. Her words twisted the knife. Did she know? Or was her bliss ignorance?
Tyler tasted non-stop.
You okay? Miss our talks. Innocence feigned, or genuine. Doubt eroded me. Maybe I could have confronted Dad first, given them a chance to self-report. But fear won. They'd bury it deeper. Emotions surged, anger at Dad for exploiting trust, pity for Tyler's naivety, sorrow for Mom's impending heartbreak. I was drowning in what-ifs, questioning every choice. Was integrity worth this agony? The West taught self-reliance. But at what cost to kin? The arrests hit like a monsoon flash flood, sudden.
Devastating.
It started with Tyler, agents swarming his apartment at dawn. I watched the news from my condo, heart-shattering as footage showed him in cuffs, boxers disheveled, face a mask of shock. Local businessman implicated in multi-million-dollar healthcare scam. The anchor droned. My phone exploded. Mom's voicemails. Hysterical. Emily. What's happening? They took Tyler. Dad's terse. Call me now. I drove to the ranch. Dust kicking up like accusations. Mom met me at the door. Eyes red. Clutching her rosary, her Catholic roots surfacing in crisis. It's a mistake, right? Tyler's a good boy. Dad paced the living room, still in scrubs from an overnight shift.
Ink.
You know something? His gaze pierced. Suspecting. Guilt crashed over me. I'd done this.
To them. To us. I.
Found documents. I confessed. Voice trembling. On your computer. Fraud. Dad. Laundering. I reported it. Silence stretched, thick as humidity before rain. Mom gasped, collapsing into a chair. Dad's face hardened like weathered rock. You turned us in? Your own family? Rage boiled in his eyes. But beneath fear, vulnerability I'd never seen. The practice was failing. Those investors promised a lifeline. It got out of hand. Out of hand? You used patient suffering for profit. Tears streamed as emotions peaked. Betrayal.
Love.
Horror intertwined. Tyler called, from holding. Voice broken over the phone.
Why?
I trusted you. His pain gutted me deeper than before. Echoing childhood promises shattered. Was this revenge for years of burdens? No, just justice. But the cost, Mom's sobs. Dad's defeat. My isolation. The FBI raided the clinic next, carting boxes under flashing lights. Dad surrendered voluntarily, maintaining dignity in his cowboy boots. Prominent Phoenix doctor charged in fraud ring, headlines screamed. Connections emerged, ties to shady suppliers in Mexico. Billing ghosts for prosthetics never made. Over $150 million siphoned. Some funding cartel ops south of the border. A Western twist on white-collar crime. My world imploded. Work placed me on leave. Conflict of interest, my boss said kindly. Friends ghosted. Neighbors whispered at the grocery. LinkedIn flooded with morbid curiosity. But inside, turmoil raged fiercer. Nightmares of Tyler's terrified eyes. Mom's hollow gaze. You're the traitor, Ryan texted, his own demons surfacing in anger. He'd known fragments. Enabled with silence. Guilt amplified. Had I destroyed redeemable people? Dad's heart condition worsened in custody. Mom started AA meetings. Admitting her pills masked denial. I testified in prelims. Voice steady, but soul fracturing. I provided evidence to stop the harm, I said, but inwardly screamed, "Forgive me." The prosecutor praised my courage. Whistleblowers like you save lives. But at what price? Emotions overwhelmed, regret for not intervening sooner, pity for Tyler's manipulation, fury at Dad's greed. Each revelation peeled layers. Dad started small. Padding bills during the recession, Tyler joined to prove himself. Mom turned blind eyes for stability.
Me?
The enabler who finally snapped. Bail hearings dragged. Tyler released with ankle monitor. Dad denied due to flight risk. Offshore accounts flagged. Mom visited me, frail under the desert sun. "I should have seen it," she whispered. "Protected you kids better." Her vulnerability cracked me open. We cried together. Raw pain bonding us briefly. But doubt lingered. Could we rebuild? Or was this the end? The media frenzy peaked. True crime pods dissecting our desert dynasty downfall. I hid in my condo. Emotions cresting like waves. Sorrow for lost innocence. Anger at systemic failures allowing such fraud. Healthcare in the West was tough, rural clinics struggling. Tempting shortcuts. But my family's choices? Unforgivable. Yet, humane flickers emerged. Tyler volunteered at a shelter. Dad wrote apologetic letters from jail. Redemption possible? My heart ached. Conflicting pulls intensifying, cut ties, or offer olive branches. Pretrial motions clarified legal paths. Plea deals floated, emphasizing cooperation. Tyler considered flipping on accomplices for reduced time. Dad faced 20-plus years, but health pleas might lighten. I met the agent. "Your testimony seals it, but we can push for leniency if they show remorse." Hope sparked amid despair. Perhaps a humane outcome. Not total ruin. Nights brought deepest turmoil, alone under stars. I questioned everything. Was blowing the whistle selfish catharsis? Or selfless act? Emotions surged higher, profound grief for fractured bonds, emerging empathy for their brokenness. Dad's ambition stemmed from poverty roots, Mom's denial from abandonment fears, Tyler's from seeking approval.
Mean it?
From over-responsibility. Understanding bred compassion. Softening edges of betrayal. Maybe healing lay in forgiveness, not vengeance. As indictments formalized, emotions hit a fever pitch, raw and unrelenting. The grand jury returned charges: conspiracy, fraud by wire, money laundering, each count a nail in our family's coffin. Tyler pleaded guilty first. Tears streaked in court. Orange jumpsuit clashing with his boyish features. "I take responsibility," he choked, glancing at me. His 5-year deal, with parole possible in 3, felt merciful yet crushing. Watching him led away, regret tsunamied me. My little brother, reduced to a number. Had I saved him? Or condemned? Dad fought initially, his lawyer arguing coercion by foreign elements. But evidence mounted, emails tracing his outreach to Petrov 2 years prior. In a Phoenix courtroom smelling of polished wood and tension, he broke during deposition prep. "I did it for the family," he admitted, voice cracking. "The ranch. Your mom's security." One bad decision snowballed. His vulnerability pierced, the strong patriarch. Now frail. EKG monitors beeping in background. Pity overwhelmed anger. He'd been human. Flawed. Desperate in a system squeezing small practices. Mom testified as a character witness. Sober and steady for the first time in years. James is a good man who lost his way, she said, eyes locking on mine. Her strength, forged in AA circles, inspired awe amid sorrow. Post-hearing, she hugged me fiercely. I forgive you, Emily, for seeing what I couldn't. Tears mingled, emotions peaked in cathartic release, grief for lost years, hope for mended ties. Ryan, absent till now, surfaced at a family visit in the detention center. You gutted us, he accused, but his eyes held mirror pain. He'd hit rock bottom, entering rehab for gambling. Maybe this forces change, he muttered. Reconciliation flickered, painful yet profound, acknowledging shared wounds. My own fallout deepened. Job loss permanent. But a nonprofit in Tucson hired me for ethics training. Your story shows real stakes, the director said. Teaching others. I relived traumas, emotions intensifying, profound isolation yielding to purpose. But nights brought waves, longing for pre-scandal barbecues. Guilt over shattered lives. Therapy helped unpack. You broke the cycle, my counselor affirmed. Yet empathy surged for victims, defrauded patients sharing stories online. Their struggles amplifying my resolve. Pre-sentencing. Letters poured in. Tyler's remorseful essay on lessons learned. Dad's apology detailing health scares prompting reflection. The judge. A no-nonsense Westerner. Noted cooperation. Dad got 10 years. Eligible for early release with good behavior. Humane considering scope. Redemption is possible, she intoned. A light lesson embedded. Choices have consequences, but mercy exists for the contrite. Post-verdict. Media shifted. Whistleblower's brave stand leads to family redemption arc. The pods debated ethics in American healthcare, highlighting systemic flaws. I spoke at a conference. Silence enables evil. Truth heals.
Applaus errang.
But inside, emotions crested higher, profound gratitude mixed with lingering ache. Visiting Tyler at the minimum security facility near Yuma, we talked through plexiglass. You saved me from worse, he admitted. Tears flowed. Forgiveness bloomed amid ruins. Mom sold the ranch, moving to a modest adobe in Sedona. Fresh start, she said, inviting me for tea. We shared stories, laughed tentatively, bonds were forming stronger, forged in fire. Dad wrote weekly, proud of your courage. His words mended fissures, emotions overwhelming in their sincerity. Yet doubts lingered. Was this true change? Or survival? Ryan's sobriety held. He started a support group for addicts. Family therapy sessions, mandated by probation, unearthed depths, childhood pressures, unspoken fears. Mine, fear of abandonment driving overprotection.
Terre, insécurité fueling crime.
Sessions gutted, but healed. Emotions reaching zenith, raw vulnerability birthing authentic connection. A year in, at a quiet desert picnic, we gathered, Tyler on parole, Dad via video from prison. We've lost much, Mom said, but gained honesty. Toasts rose under sunset skies. Lesson clear, forgiveness doesn't erase pain, but opens paths to renewal. My heart swelled. Profound peace settling amid scars. Emotions transcended previous peaks as redemption unfolded. Profound and transformative. Tyler, out on parole, moved in with Mom in Sedona, working at a community clinic, reparations in action. Every patient reminds me of the harm, he confided during hikes through Red Rock canyons. His vulnerability stirred deep empathy. We'd talk hours, unpacking regrets. Your choice forced growth, he said, hugging me fiercely. Tears came unbidden. Catharsis, washing away residual guilt, our bond. Once fractured, now unbreakable steel. Dad's letters evolved from apologies to wisdom. The West teaches resilience. Mistakes are trails to better paths. His early release loomed. Health improved through prison programs. Video calls revealed a humbled man, sharing books on ethics. You modeled true strength, he told me. Voice thick. Emotions surged, forgiveness for his flaws, gratitude for his love beneath greed. Visiting him, barriers dissolved. We planned family reunions. Light lessons embedded. Accountability breeds trust. Mom flourished in sobriety, volunteering at fraud victim support groups. Your bravery inspired mine, she whispered at a Sedona sunset vigil. Her embrace held years of unspoken affection, emotions overwhelming in purity, profound joy amid healed wounds. Ryan, sober 6 months, joined us, starting a ranch hand job. No more hiding, he vowed. Group dinners, simple under stars, rebuilt unity, laughter genuine. Shadows banished. My life bloomed, promoted at the nonprofit. I advocated for whistleblower reforms, testifying in D.C. Family fraud taught me. Truth liberates. I shared. Voice steady. Applause echoed. But fulfillment came from impact, helping others avoid our pitfalls. Romantically, I dated cautiously, opening to vulnerability. Emotions reached sublime heights, empowerment from ashes, compassion for human frailty. Challenges persisted, media echoes, judgmental glances. But therapy fortified. You've rewritten your narrative. A family retreat in the Grand Canyon symbolized rebirth, hiking trails, sharing stories around campfires. Tyler's confession. I forgive myself because you believed in better. Dad's tearful. Proudest of your integrity. Mom's gentle. We're whole again. Ryan's gruff. Thanks for the wake-up. Emotions crested in euphoric unity. Profound love transcending betrayal. The light lesson crystallized. Revenge destroys. Humane justice heals. In the American West, where vast skies promise second chances, we embodied it. No perfect endings, but honest ones. As I watched a desert dawn, heartful, I whispered thanks for the pain that birthed growth, the choices that saved us all.